Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Let's talk story time with Uncle Cash. Everybody gather around, get your popcorn ready. So I got to talk to you today about this load I did. Woo, she got tipsy, dog. She got tipsy, and not in a good way. Reminded me of that club song, when I popped them doors. That everybody in the club getting tipsy. Dude, I had pallets this away, that away. Two of them looked like they had exploded on the ride. They were just literally laid out everywhere. Check that picture out. How would you like to pop the doors out of McLean at 10 o'clock at night? And that's what you get. Man. So this was a multi-stop load. And what had happened was, let me explain to you what had happened was, I take no blame in this. Not my fault. I actually got paid $200 to solve the problem for them at 10 o'clock at night. So shout out to my guys. They know I'm a problem solver. That's why they give me these, big money loads, if you will. I mean, honestly, that is the truth. Like, that's why they call me, because they know, they don't have to deal with it. I'm going to figure it out. So what had happened was that there was 4 stops going on this load. They couldn't get all 4 stops on. Lightweight load, didn't weigh very much, like 25,000 pounds or so. So they was trying to just get as much in there as they could for these 4 stops. The problem was they had I won't say 5 pallets that were like 4 foot tall. Couldn't get it all on the trailer. And they were just too tall to double stack and get on there. So what they did is they took those 5 and they broke them down into 4. Or maybe it was 6 into 4, something like that. Stacked them to the freaking chute in the trailer. Like, literally, they were dragging the chute as they were taking them off. And we all know in the reefer game, that's a big no-no. You don't touch the chute. The chute is expensive to fix. Let me tell you, don't let them stack it to the chute. Some reefer companies put lines in their trailer. They'll paint a line down the sidewall that says, do not load trailer above this line. Matter of fact, I used to pull a trailer that had that in it. Maybe I need to get them to paint one in this one. But anyway, they stacked it all the way to the chute. But what they did was, those weren't the pallets on the back. The pallets on the back were about 5 foot tall. And, they won't let you go in a warehouse to watch them load. And these pallets, this load went all the way to the back door. This was a back door load, and they put, my first stop had 4 pallets that were each about 5 foot tall. Those didn't get redone. Now, the 5 pallets in front of them, the 4 or 5 pallets in front of them had got restacked. They were not machine stretch wrapped. They were lazy ass cold storage employee wrapped. And the guy went around them one time with stretch wrap. One time with stretch wrap and didn't even get it tight. Left it loose. Like, I took a video and sent it to the broker of the pallet that didn't fall over. And I said, look, and the only reason it didn't fall over is because one fell on it this way and one fell on it this way and literally pinned it against the door. I mean, not against the door, against the wall and the pallet in front of it. That's the only reason that one didn't fall. And I showed them. Like, I took a video, I grabbed the stretch wrap and I flexed it back and forth. It was so loose, the wind from the reefer unit was blowing the stretch wrap around. And so I let them know, I said, hey, this is not my fault. They restacked these pallets to the chute. Number one, the boxes, look at this picture here. You can see the boxes on the bottom couple layers. It should not be stacked that tall. They cannot support the weight of 15 boxes high. So not only did they overload the pallets by stacking them too tall, they didn't stretch wrap them good. And then not only that, is they stuck those other 4 or 5 pallets behind them, so I couldn't see that mess. Because honestly, if I would have seen that mess from the warehouse, I would have been like, no, those got to come off. Those got to get wrapped better. I think maybe if they'd had really good stretch wrap, they might have made it, because all the boxes would have been held together better. Because, as soon as one box starts to give in, it's over. Because it's such a, it's like a Jenga puzzle. Called a broker at, so the first, let me start from where, where the action happens. So the first stop goes okay. Pallets come off. All's good. I can tell already, as soon as I go to close the doors at the first stop, I got problems. Because I already got a pallet leaning. It ain't fell over on the other one yet, but it's leaning hard. So I get up in the trailer and I put a load lock up and down. Now I've got the type of chute where you can put a load lock onto the chute and not hurt it. It's one of those mesh chutes. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, instead of being a solid vinyl chute, it's a mesh chute. So anyway, I put the load lock in it. Didn't do a damn bit of good. I showed up at McLean's at 10 o'clock that night, and when I opened the door, another visual aid here. When I opened the door, this is what I was looking at. Yeah. So, right then I knew I had problems, but I said, hey, I'm here now. I might as well bag it in the door and let them look at it. Capstone was the lumper. Capstone was at the time about 2 hours behind. I had a 10 o'clock appointment. They got me in a door at midnight. So they were 2 hours behind. So I think what they did, they came out, they looked at that, and they said, oh, hell no. We're already behind 2 hours. And this McLean's I was at only had about 10 dock doors. It was not a big McLean's. I think they thought to themselves, this is one way where we can get ahead a little bit. We'll just reject it all and send him on the way. And that's what they did. They rejected the whole load. I had 11 pallets going there. The bulk of the load came off there. That was my biggest stop. And they said, no, thank you. That's got to go. And I said, hey, can I restack it? I'll restack it for you. And you can, then you can take it off and do your sorting and do your lumper stuff. And the guy was like, no, we can't give up a dock door for 30 minutes or, because I told the guy, I said, give me 30 minutes. I said, I think I can restack that in 30 minutes if I really get after it. And he said, nah, I can't give up a door for 30 minutes. I said, can I pull out in a parking lot and restack it? And then when I'm done, come back in, you give me a door, we'll do it, Nah, they didn't want to hear none of it. So, at that point, I got to get a hold of the broker because, I've got other stops in front of that have to be delivered at 6 in the morning. It's my next stop. And literally, I got to drive 2.5 hours to get there to take off one pallet. So I had to call him. I was like, what do you want me to do? Because if I drive 2.5 hours out there and the McLean's was near a big city and the next stop was kind of out in the country, 2.5 hours. If I drive out there 2.5 hours and then I have to bring this back to some cold storage or whatever, but they were like, hey, you got to try to go get that next stop off and stay on schedule. Because, these other stops are brutal. And this is why multi-stop should pay you more. Because there's problems like this that will arise and they will cost you time. Now, this didn't cost me time on the overall load. I still finished the load when I should have finished the load. But instead of going and being able to, sleep for 3 or 4 hours between the McLean, I was going to sleep at McLean, catch me a few hours of sleep there, go find me a place to park, catch another 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and then go make my morning delivery. I didn't get to do that. What I got to do was I got to go about 2 hours out of the city near my next delivery, find me a pilot that had a parking spot left, get in that negative 10 degree trailer, and restack 2 pallets that had just like a bomb had went off. And then drive to my customer and get over there and then explain to those nice people that, hey, your pallet is in front of those 11 garbagely, everywhere pallets. Your stuff's in front of that. And luckily, it was like a mom and pop food service place. I had a forklift driver there that was phenomenal. I tried to give the guy some cash when I left. He would not take it. He was like, nah, man. He's like, it ain't no big deal. To me, it was that they moved those 11 pallets out. Not only did they move those 11 pallets out, I had one that was stacked so tall and leaning, but hadn't fell over yet, I said, hey, can I get another pallet from you guys and like break that pallet down into two? Because I said, that thing ain't gonna make it, you know? And the guy was like, yeah. So he went and got me a pallet. While he was unloading those, I restacked that. They let me re-stretch wrap like 3 or 4 of the pallets using their stretch wrap. I mean, a phenomenal place. Phenomenal place. You know, like U.S. Foods wouldn't have done that. You know, and I even had the broker, when I called the broker at like 12:30 in the morning, you know, I had them give me an EFS check for a few $100s, like just in case we needed to pay to move those pallets, you know, because a lot of places, they'll move your pallets for you, you know, they'll take them off and put them back on. Most places wouldn't have touched these pallets, the way they were leaning and busted and everything. Luckily, this place, they did take them off, and they didn't even charge me anything, and they were super cool about it, you know. They took their pallet off, they reloaded the 11, which now is 12 pallets that I had, and I mean, like, super phenomenal, helped me out. What ended up happening was, so that was 6 a.m. My final stop was literally like 40 or 50 miles away, and it was at 10 p.m., so during the day, we found a cold storage that would take those busted up 12 pallets and took them to the cold storage. The cold storage charged $600 to unload those pallets and count them. And I guess they'll figure out, you know, the delivery to McLean's or whatever. But yeah, you know, the key to it was good documentation to prove that it was not my fault. You know, I told the broker, I said I had 4 pallets that came off before these pallets, and I had 10 that came off after those pallets, and all of those were machine wrapped, and they all did perfectly fine, and they were all like 6 feet or under. I said the problem was they stacked those 8 feet tall with minimal stretch wrap, and that's what got me. That's what got them. So after I explained all that to the broker and got it all, you know, documented and sent in, they were like, yeah, we get it. Like, you know, that wasn't like, you know, you did something wrong, like, you know, hit a curb or, because, you know, I hit a curb one time with a load of Coca-Cola. I'll probably do a story about that one day. I hit a curb literally coming into the receiver with a load of Coca-Cola, and what a mess. And I had to clean it up because, you know, it was my fault. But this was not my fault. I did help the broker out because it's a broker that I get loads from all the time. Like, they literally call me whenever they got something, you know, like kind of wacky or whatever. And as long as the price is right, I bite on it. But the key is I solved the problem for them. They said, hey, here's the deal. For restacking that and getting, you know, helping out at the next stop, getting it all redone and moved around and everything, they cut me $200 for it. Not bad. I mean, it did take all night to deal with it, but ultimately, you know, they got it dropped at the cold storage. The cold storage, perfect. It worked out perfect. These guys are professionals at finding places to help us out and do things like that, because that cold storage was literally 9 miles away from my final stop. So I went over there, got that unloaded. That cold storage was like a small, not like a big chain. It was another small cold storage. And they let me park there for, you know, 4 or 5 hours so I could sleep. And then, you know, I took the final stop in and got it all off. That came off fine. That was another big lumper fee, $495 lumper fee on that one, because it came in as 10 pallets, and it left at how many was it? It was crazy. 69 pallets, I think it was. It came in as 10 and broke down to 69 pallets, $495 lumper fee. So if you take that with the extra, you know, it was like $1,100 of lumpers on that load. It was crazy. But, you know, there we go, guys. I just thought I'd share my story with you. The key to that is, the thing to learn from this is, you know, documentation will save you. So if you have any kind of issues like that, always take pictures. Take pictures of labels, take pictures of busted boxes, take pictures of pallets, as many angles as you can get. It's all going to pay off for you in the end. Any work you do, document the work you do. If you restack something, like I took a picture of the one hard leaning junk pallet And then I took a picture of how I broke it down to 2 and stretch wrapped them both really good. You know, so document your work, and that's how you get paid for it. That's my advice. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you've watched this far, do me a favor, hit that like button for me. Think about joining the channel. Maybe hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notifications. Come join me for a live show. That is, in my opinion, the best place to get your questions answered if you have any trucking questions, because the community is there to help you. And, you know, guys love helping out. New guys, honestly, you know, we're not going to put you down if you don't know something, you know. It's just the way it is. Like, most of the people that are in there, you know, they realize, you know, they're where they got because people help them, and that's the way I look at it too. Check out that description down below. Use Mudflap to save money on fuel. I save a lot of money doing that. If you use my link, you'll get yourself $10 in free fuel. I get $10 in free fuel, and I do appreciate it. Check out my second channel, Trucking with Diabetes. It's a community-based channel talking about trucking and health, whereas this is a channel we talk more just trucking and business. So check out the second channel, and also merch. If you would like some Cash is King merch, I've got merch down there now, so check it out. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care of each other. Bye.